Kingpin has just recently released all of the quarterfinal full fight videos. I wanted to give my honest analysis on King Kenny's fight and why I feel he's going to be a late-stay fixture in this tournament. Let's get into how I think he's evolved, some maybe missteps I saw him take during the fight, and overall my analysis of how he shaped up against my mate Nate. All right, so we have both men getting ready here. At this point, I mean, I've already given my thoughts on this event and how I thought that it wasn't the best show despite the names and despite the buildup it had. I think we can learn a lot from these types of events. One of the things I believe that Kingpin did really well was marketing the fights. But when it came down to the overall quality, right, fights like this are the exception to the rule. But when it came to the overall quality of the fights themselves, I wasn't really jazzed. But I already did a video on that. You can check it out if you'd like. Right now, let's get into this man right here, King Kenny, always a technician, but a guy that a lot of people felt was holding himself back from his true potential with his fear, I'd say, of letting his hands go. A lot of people thought if he put it all together, it could be very dangerous. And I remember when Kenny came out, he was very kind of amped up, right? He was charged, ready to go. And that was kind of one of the early indicators for anyone that was paying attention that he would come out and put on an absolute clinic. So immediately, you see Kenny coming forward. Now, this is something we have never seen before from him. Usually, he likes to kind of play possum. I'd say the best way to describe his fighting style up until this fight has been neutral to the back foot. He has never been a guy to come forward. I do think that is because guys like him that are so long and tall, they're so great at range, but once they get into range, they kind of struggle with the footwork, with the combinations. I've said it a million times on this channel before, but that's why I believe we really haven't seen Kenny come in like this before. But there is a way for the longer and taller guys that aren't necessarily volume punchers to crash in and create chaos. And what we saw from him this fight was that it looks like King Kenny was able to unlock that part of his skill set. A lot of people would say that his physicality wasn't up to par in past fights, but he's clinching in there. He's getting some dirty boxing going. Still has that lead hand out. Right, this is completely the same King Kenny that we know. He dips in. He likes to throw the 1-2. He likes to get low, throw that jab, throw that cross to the body. But now he's just more physical. He's more so on the front foot. It's not that my mate Nate's not fighting good. Kenny just didn't allow him to kind of find his pace, find his tempo, find his range. That's what my mate Nate's trying to do with that jab. Nate's got some good jabs going there, but Kenny's just waiting for his opportunity, kind of showboating a little bit, seeing what he can get, seeing if he can get into the mind of Nate. See, we're seeing a little bit of vintage Kenny now. And King Kenny has thrown that check hook a lot. He'll dip down, come up, and boom, right as my mate Nate would enter the pocket. That's fantastic timing and fight IQ by the Englishman. There it is again, that timing. And that's that shot, man. He has his patented shots that he likes to throw that commonly land. The 1-2, the 1 to the body, the 2 to the body, and that jump hook, that kind of bob-in hook is one that he constantly likes to throw. You see Kenny's confidence, right? His body posture, it's just oozing with confidence. Some issues, though, he does leave his hands down. That's still a problem that he does have, where he ducked into that cross from Nate. So that's still something to certainly address. It's just, he's going to be a problem regardless. But again there, right, he ducks in, and that's such a bad habit to have, right? You cannot allow, if you're going to move your head at all, coaches will tell you, up here, right? You don't want to be down there. Because that's, I mean, if Nate was able to land a flush shot, let's just say, and there was a little bit more oomph on one of those shots, we could easily be seeing a different result. Coming to the end of round number 1 there. Kenny with a lot more vitriol, a lot more physicality. We love to see it. Some people might have even labeled him as soft before this fight. And now we see Kenny starting to use the feints, right? And a feint is how he was able to finish this fight. But he combines that jumping hook with feints, and, I mean, that's just a testament to how skilled he is. Yep. There's one. Fantastic timing. Let's view this in slow motion. So Kenny prodding, seeing what he gets. Right? Lands the hook once. Referee's in the way there. Darts out before my mate Nate can return fire. You see him duck under that 1-2, reads it, and then just comes over with a huge hook. And this is what I believe makes King Kenny now so dangerous. We're now watching the same guy with the same skill set that he possessed before. So that great timing, great counters, great power, footwork, but now the aggression, Now he's fighting the fight on his terms and not the other way around. And I think that last fight with Ashley Raksu where he got upset, I think that really hit a switch in his head to where he said, all right, let me be more aggressive. I have the power to do it. I have the timing. I have the counters. I can afford to play possum a little bit, but let me start to put the opponent on the back foot. And it's the beginning of the end here. He comes forward, opens him up with a jab, and then boom, overhand. And that's the fight. So let's view that last knockdown again in slow motion. So he comes up, feints the jab. Boom! And, I mean, some dirty shots there on the end, but, I mean, you know, that's much more aggressive. I'd see that 9 times out of 10 if we see a much more aggressive Kenny. This version of King Kenny is a problem. This version of King Kenny is an absolute problem for everyone in Misfits, in Kingpin, in wherever he decides to go. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about in the last video. I think Kenny might just be a little bit too dominant for everyone else in this tournament. I'll do another breakdown video on Whindersson Nunes, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Perhaps after I see his performance yet again, I will change my mind. But with the way he's looked, I cannot wholeheartedly give this men's bracket of the tournament to anyone else but King Kenny. But without further ado, that's been the episode for today. Thank you guys so much for listening. It has been your boy, the Combat Consultant, the Soundboard God. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.